Good morning, guys. I wanted to talk about mental health and wellness. What a surprise, right? Um, Here we go on a beautiful day in January, and we're out and about. And, in our yard, and the dogs are going to go bark at the neighbors a little bit. I wanted to talk about confinement a little bit because I know that it's so hard. We want to protect our puppies and our dogs from harming themselves. Um, but I think that one of the things that we are doing is making it worse. And I want to say that this is a really general topic, but it's also very specific. So if your dogs never get out, then when they do get out, they're likely to be nuts. They're likely to be hypersensitive to all of the environment. Think about it. If you uh, are in the house, like during the pandemic, for the whole, for several months at a time, when you do go out to the grocery store, it's almost exciting. I mean, it's an adventure. Whereas if you get out to go to the grocery store all the time or every single week, then when you get out, it's no big deal, right? It's not something exciting, and you don't spend your time, kind of looking around. Um, I think the same thing is true when we put our dogs in crates or when we keep them locked inside all the time. So just now, I was coming out, and Guapo, the black and white here, where did you see his butt and his very happy tail? Um, he's just now off a leash. He has spondylosis, discospondyliosis, and we're in the middle of treatment, and he's just finally getting off of leash. So he's been on leash for a couple of months now. And so when I let him off leash as we were just coming out, he was so excited. He was bouncing out of his skin. And it was very difficult for me to get him to walk beside me. And then when I did the release, I did a very soft release because I didn't want him exploding out of the gate in a whole bunch of excitement and hurting himself. So what I've done is I've transitioned to off leash slowly over the last week or two, starting out by just at the very end of our walk, when he's already not as excited, letting him off leash, and then transitioning earlier and earlier in our walks, so that now I don't even have to put the leash on him. Now, I think the same exact phenomenon is going on when we keep our dogs in a crate. When they get out of the crate, they're much more likely to jump and bounce and bite us and be just super excited, right? So what's the cure for this? The cure for this is to keep them out of the crate more often, to involve them in more of your daily activities, and to get them outside more often, and just truly allow them to be more a part of your life. Reduce the crating to the minimum amount of time you can. Now, obviously, there's some challenges here, right? Because if you're crating them when you leave, and you don't want crating to be the indication that you're leaving, you're going to have to put them into the crate a little bit while you're still at home. So there's two different solutions to that. You can either put them in the crate for a few minutes while you're still at home, fairly frequently, but for really minimal amounts of time. Or you can start leaving them out of the crate for when you're not at home. Now, if you leave them out of the crate when you're not at home, you're going to want to pay attention, obviously, to if they're destroying things or soiling or something like that, which might indicate something like either fear of missing out, FOMO, or separation anxiety. So watch for destruction and watch for urination and defecation, especially right by the door. And if these things are happening, try to figure out whether it's FOMO, in which case you want to take them for a walk and then come back and settle down and let them nap before you leave. Or if it's separation anxiety, you're going to have to pull out the big guns and be very careful about leaving. Again, the walk before you leave and stuff like that is a big help, but you're also going to have to start introducing small absences. And by small absences, I mean really small. I mean, for some dogs, we're talking about not even going out the door, just going to the door and turning around, or going into the bathroom alone, or things like that. Some dogs may be able to take 5 minutes, but that's the exception, not the rule. So there you have it, guys. Confinement and freedom of choice and running around and are two very important topics that go hand in hand. And as much as possible, we want to avoid confinement with our dogs because those create behavior problems. All right. So that was another edition in our health and wellness series. If you enjoyed this, if you want to hear more, know more about working with your dogs and how to live a happy life without doing 900 bazillion hours worth of training, subscribe, like our channel, share with your friends and loved ones. All right. Take care, guys.